just water or I don't know, something happened, but
Oh,
they're like this morning we went out, so after I got out of the shower today, I was like, I'm gonna wash my hair. It's been 10 days.
you're like that. Okay, there. Can you hear me? Because it's in my speakers doing something weird.
Yes, I can hear you.
So I'm gonna move the camera around. We only have one person who's joining us besides you. Hold on. So Darcy.
Huh? I said I know those.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to move my camera on the back. Okay, good. That's cool. Oh, okay. I hope that didn't make you seasick.
No, it's okay. Now you are.
Okay, now can you see everybody?
Yes, I can see the top of people's heads.
Top of everybody's head.
Jody.
It's Darcy.
Oh, hi, Darcy.
Hello.
Okay, cool. Let me see if I can do this.
That's good. That works right there.
It's like enough.
Do you want to turn on the projector so that we can see
We could do that.
if they have questions?
It's a
or if the chat
miracle.
comes up?
That's a miracle in having.
It is.
Um,
Look at us with tech and nameplates and filing cabinets. Whoa.
Riverside Community College has these things now, and I was like, where did you get this?
Can I?
It's in the roof. They're right here. In the roof.
Oh,
And-
and it like drops down.
It's like a thing that just comes down and it's like an LCD projector, but facing down.
Oh,
And like Amber Lappin was just like, do, and she's like, so I just
Hi,
wanted to
I'm
show you
coming out.
something, and she's like, put this paper like just on a random.
Thanks,
counter.
bye.
And I'm like, and it pops up on the projector, and I was like, where'd that come from? And it's like, there was a light in the ceiling that they have, and it comes straight down, and it, she just shifts it from like her computer to, it's kind of like the camera.
Yeah.
But it's just going from the ceiling, so it's out of the way, and there's no
There's
extra
nothing.
stuff, and I was like,
Gosh.
okay, I'm jealous about that right now. Like, that's super cool, right? And she just like set it on the counter, and I was like, what's happening here?
What's going on? Am I looking at that
Yeah,
paper?
'cause I'm in Kentucky, so I'm like all about,
So cool.
I was like,
Is
I
that
don't know that.
good? This light being on, is that good for you
Right.
guys?
Tell me that that Marianne works in an environment without saying that Marianne works in an environment. I was like, I came in one day, there was one file,
But with the-
and I came in, there was two, and the next time I came back, girl. She comes over to my house every time she brings a plant. I'm like, okay, you don't live here. She's like, well, this is kind of my home away from my home.
Yeah.
She's like, starts putting plants
I
around
need
her.
to have the best oxygen everywhere I go, so.
Yeah. I know. I felt so bad when her house caught on fire, and when I went to go, like they gave us 10 minutes at the very end of the fire, clean the fire up to go in and get whatever we can. And
Yeah.
she's like, I can't go. And so I went in for her, and
Just like grab all my.
well, no, I wanted to, but like it was like we had to get things for patients
Yeah.
because it's like he had, his brain was
Yeah.
and then just clothes and whatever, but it's like that's the plants. And I knew she'd go back and get all of it. I go, tell me that Marianne works in an environment without telling me that Marianne works in an environment.
Tell me what my gardener's
I
strong
was
suit is.
surprised that you were buying pizza. I stopped and got food. I didn't know.
I didn't know you were coming today.
I know. I want to surprise you. Surprise!
Yay. Okay, Darcy, can you see the shenanigans? I'm gonna put in the
We
chat.
got you on the screen.
I know we have you on the big screen too.
What?
I just want to see the snow in your.
There's a big screen right here.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Beautiful, the whole rain. First time I've seen the whole rain.
Let me put in the agenda in the chat.
Yeah, it's good. But you just talk with them.
Yeah.
The whole
Yes, it is. I showed that to her. so-
Suzanne?
Crimpy.
Calm down, you look beautiful.
I think it's
She's
great.
like, is that
When I leave home, I'm going.
It's so good on her chest,
But on my way home, I'll probably.
Yeah.
Wait, where am I putting?
Did I ask you, Sarah, how close are you to the mall?
Very. Which one? I should walk.
Graham.
Graham.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, are you in those groups of condos near there?
A little bit farther, the condos near there, they made like an assisted living.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm like a block, 2 blocks away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the agenda. Let me hand this out to the group. And then we have one other document that is like a shared calendar. And so let me get that in there
When
too.
Matt was doing fashion show, Parkville was in their fashion show. 18 months old.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something.
at the Rare Mall.
There we go.
We used to do fun things.
Okay, cool. That helps. That helps. Okay, cool. Do you get those two documents, Darcy?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yay. All right, so here is the agenda.
I love a good
Bunch of
agenda.
it. And then I'm printing out more of these right now and I'm gonna grab plates.
You want me to
Can
grab
I
plates?
grab some?
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Or your printed
Something
things?
for you?
Yeah. Trying to get my steps over here, all right? Here's our down home napkins. What's it? Oh, and then,
Did I send you?
there's 3 pages. Oh, okay, let me get the stapler out. I know, right? I was like, hand it over.
I haven't, thank you so much. I haven't run across that yet.
Yeah.
But it probably does. I just been, yeah. So, but they were like, we would love you. And I do know this. And I know this. They're like, oh, look at this.
So funny. All right, so how's everybody? We had convocation this morning.
It's so funny that you guys are just starting out because it's like
2 weeks.
we're in our 5th week. of the semester.
Yeah,
So
we're
next
in
week,
the
we're in
fifth
our 5th
week.
week, yeah.
But they're still 18.
Yeah, we are.
Way too long.
And then you have a.
I know.
Way too long. So this is the hot honey.
Perfection.
This is hot honey, but it has arugula and pepperoni.
Healthy.
I need a nap. When's nap time?
Right after
Yeah,
this.
why is that? Like, I was like,
And then the veggie.
I didn't sleep well last night. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get her on time. I slept right. I woke up the whole night worried. Is it time yet? Is it time yet? I thought I didn't sleep well. And I didn't take my usual narcoleptic medicine because it knocks me out. Sometimes I'll sleep at 1 o'clock. I go, no, I can't take that. My wife has a super cold right now and she can't feel, I know, it's like, when her snoring is so bad. And like, and I sometimes will just like, do like a little, but then it's like, yesterday she's like, I just sleep, or she was kind of crazy. She's like, I just sleep better right now on my back because it's just like on the side, I get all stuffy. And so I'm like, okay, I clearly can't have her. So like 3 o'clock in the morning, it's like, oh. I'm like, all right. So I went to the living room. By that time, I was like wide awake. I'm like, I guess I'll just be working on a module at 3:30 in the morning.
I saw something somewhere about like Victorians would get up in the middle of the night. Here's what. And forks. And then I'm gonna try one of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just forks and then I'm gonna try.
Christina, you're good.
No, thank you. I'm fine. I've been telling everybody about how all my classes have to be redone because Keisha introduced me to, did you know?
A veggie and a.
Oh, I gotta
Did
send you
you
some stuff.
freaking know?
I gotta send you those. I put them all in one sheet.
Oh my God, yes.
I'll
Okay,
send
that
today before you leave. I'm gonna.
Okay,
send-
cool.
I'll do it.
And then I also need like a Google folder thing, but
Oh, there is a Google folder.
yeah.
You?
Okay.
These are healthy.
Oh,
she's gonna serve you.
oh, thank you. Yeah, I wanna try one of the honey and one.
Yes, ma'am. That's
So this is what it looks like to have a full-time collaborative team.
people who get along.
God,
People who get along.
really nice.
Well, remember, well, I had to tell
I forgot about how.
It'll be after
This
it's
is
not
not clear.
This is not a secret, so I told everybody, you know, that we still have an apartment. You told me they were meeting over at SAC. Trying to get rid of my apartment. You're the one that told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so when it was after that, then I realized what was happening. Oh, and then they shut that down, but had it not been for me finding out about that.
Yeah.
Soon enough to stop it, then we not be here. Yep.
I'm like, hey, listen up. They're trying to shut you down.
The pizza does have 8 on it, so anyways. It's a little bit different, but
Fun.
yeah, it was our veggie. It's
I'm gonna try it even with eggplant on it.
I'm gonna try.
I haven't acquired the
Eggplant.
taste for that yet.
It's more like a texture.
It's my
at this
favorite
point.
veggie.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh?
I would say that it's pretty up there for me too.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing is to grill it with like all these yummy spices and then put, goat cheese with basil inside of it instead of mozzarella. So I'm not a huge,
And the
mozzarella.
pizza,
Yeah,
I
cheese.
think the hot honey one is the goat cheese, the goat cheese, that's why
Oh,
I
I
was
love
like.
it.
Darcy, are you just watching us eat? I'm so sorry.
Yes. No worries. Looks good.
We need to put the menu out that we're gonna have pizza and we can have pizza with.
Like, listen, I already told Sarah this morning, I either am organized and everything's all set up, or something's gonna be missing, and it might be the creature comforts. You just can't have it both ways. Like, when I'm ready for something, I'm usually like 96% ready, and the last 4%, it'll show up when it shows up, so there we are.
That's pretty accurate about you.
Yeah, I'm like, I can do anything to like 90.
That's even like your personal, she'll be like, with her suitcase and she's got everything, and then it's like, except for my bra.
And a
And
toothbrush.
a toothbrush.
Yeah, I was like, dang it, like, can you tell that I didn't care either way? I was like, I don't care. So you have the agenda, yes, Darcy, and then the second one is actually like a calendar that I put together. It's more like, it was kind of more like for the dean, to just say like, hey, this is what we do over the course of the year, and it's a lot. So we're going pretty much off of the agenda.
Okay.
All right, so I just put where it is. I'll make sure that everybody has access to it or has a copy. But since I shared it in 365, we can update it all on one document. You don't have to download it. It just gets all updated at the same time. So first off, department meetings going forward. They're Tuesdays still? Are we good with that?
Works for me.
I will be at the center of, oh no, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, that's good.
Okay, so Tuesday is good. And because I know that you have a 110 on Tuesday, and is it 10 to 11:15? So then we're gonna do like, are we gonna do like noon again?
Or good, you give me a chance to sit down for a second? Absolutely. Noon's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, noon's good.
Planned sit down. 12 to, we'll say this one is long, but that one we can do an hour. Yeah, right. I'm sorry. Well, I'll put it for 12 to 1, but we should probably. buffer the
Well, we're
end of
gonna
that.
probably adding some of the SLO talk and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think some of that needs to happen. All right, so the SLO collab, we need to get a time, Darcy, to get you and, well, Alexi's not teaching 107 right now, so let's probably move forward. Less is probably better. So we did peek over some of the 107 stuff, and so when is a good time to schedule those meetings for you, Darcy? Like, is it like Friday afternoons, or are you doing your consulting?
Not next Friday, but yeah, I could do probably Friday afternoons going forward.
Okay, so like at 2 p.m. Fridays too?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming we're all not gonna be in rush hour traffic at Friday 2 p.m. So, and what I wanna do is the 107 first and then move over to 110. Who's that? Is that Jody? Yay! Yeah, she's doing.
Hi, Jody.
Can you see us? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. I'm on two meetings at once, but one's a doctor appointment, but I'll be quiet.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let me send you give you the agenda, because I did put, I just talked about department meeting dates, which is like the first bullet, so. And then we got pizza. We just kind of just threw that out there at the last minute, so. Sorry, we couldn't see you in person, but if you come in person.
Can't eat it.
We'll get it.
Still on a liquid diet.
How are you feeling?
Good.
You look good.
Thanks.
Okay, let me see. So I wonder if I can drag that again. Don't you love it when you like put in documents and then you have to put them in again and then like, why can't we just?
Yeah.
I want to see if I
Why
can.
can't we all be friends? You
I
know?
know, right?
Why can't computers and people be friends?
Well, it looks like there's a copy. Oh, there's a copy feature. Right click the actual file and then hit copy. That is awesome. So there's an annual planning cycle and a department meeting. So For Darcy, the first one is the agenda. For Jody, the second one is the agenda. And then the first one is kind of like a calendar. We just started on the first bullet. So we just talked about department meetings.
Perfect.
Did we say third Tuesdays? Noon. We figured maybe we can force ourselves to have a lunch. And I did only put it for an hour, but we should probably count an hour and a half at least. Whew, okay, you guys good? Okay, good. All right, cool. It's a little awkward, but is it working out okay? You can see us, we can talk, you can hear us if I'm over there?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so we
Hear
just
me?
passed like
Yeah, we can hear you.
first Maple. And then we're gonna put on the calendar for Friday, 2 p.m. for the SLO collaborative, put 107 together. I don't know how many meetings that's gonna take, but this is just to align the SLOs so we can then assess properly. And then from there, move forward into aligning the TPs with hopefully a consultant's support, maybe next semester or something.
And getting the signature assignment.
Yeah, so first is signature assignment, so we can assess. And they're cracking down on that. The crackdown is happening, because today we had convocation, and they're talking about, yeah, there's gonna be like a budget shortfall over the next couple of years, and so they're already looking at efficiency. We had somebody come by this week to look at the space. I was like, but it's gonna be decommissioned, but they still have inventory. What's on?
Shannon.
Oh, cool. Oh. Now I gotta go to the gym.
Hi, Jana.
Hi. We forgot to tell you we've got to tell you there's pizza. But you didn't,
You asked. I just couldn't stay. And then my meeting got over earlier. So I'm like, oh, I'll just jump on. But I'm not there to get my pizza.
totally. I also found out that even though I put in like a document in the chat, and I was like, oh, I have to find it again and attach it, you can right click it and say copy. So that's the agenda. And then this is our planning cycle.
Did you know?
Wait,
And-
is that Susie? I have not seen Susie in forever. Hi, Susie.
Well, look over here, Susie. There's
Over
Jessica
here.
over here.
Look at you. You look beautiful in your blonde hair. I love it.
Thank you. Actually, I couldn't get it done today because I have out electricity at my house, so this is what they get.
Yeah, and
I
I'm like,
washed my hair and I got out of the shower and there was no electricity.
and Janet, right now you're giving like the Devil Wears Prada vibes
Oh, thank you.
when she was wearing the blue sweater.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
when she was wearing that blue sweater. So welcome. All right, so everybody has the agenda and the calendar. Okay, we're just going down a bullet. The next bullet is a little bit talking about this space, so we could probably,
I just had a quick question.
Yes.
The FLO collab, is that including the apprenticeship classes? Is that, we can do those separately?
no, because basically, because you told us you wanted something more specific
Yeah,
for the student.
so that's okay.
So we're doing based on the stuff that we've already met on.
Perfect.
But we will have to have an assessment of those.
Yeah. So
got
once
ideas.
we decide on the assessments, like Chris and I are still, we have like one last meeting to kind of hammer that out. And then because what I've noticed is that we all want to do our super fun projects. But if they don't match an SLO, why are we doing them? Right? And so what I've done, yeah, no, so here's the thing. If I really want to do it, I put it into a discussion board. If I find that like the Cracker Baby project. And so I put that in the discussion board. It could have been just a standalone assignment. And yes, genetics is part of it, but it's not SLO, but it is super fun. And it gets their analytical juices going. So I put that in there in a discussion form. So they do it and then they talk with each other. So it's not just them coming up with it, it's them coming up with it, but then also, you know, like discussing it in a forum. And it to me, and it's like, I think it's in chapter 2 for me, I think. So it's like just at the beginning where it's like getting them like kind of silly and drawing and putting 2 crackers together, right? Although one guy did this last semester, he did pretzel fishes, and that's already a thing. So I was like, you know, I need to update the instructions if they not a combination that's already created. I see he found the loophole, and I was like, thanks, Peyton. So once we get the 107 collab down, it's just for 3 main assignments. That's it. We're gonna call them signature assignments. They're collaboratively created with the departments. But then everything is up to you. But I want people to know, we are not in the business of doing extra work for the fun of it. We need to be mindful and intentional. And it's like, there's a lot of things I want to do, but I look in there like, is this for me or is it for them? And so I've cut that down by 50%. And some things I'm gonna hold out and be like, no, I'm gonna show Shane Coyson from this day forward on TED Talk, because he is like very relatable Canadian slam poet talking about the angst of middle childhood. Yeah, I'm gonna put that in there. But it's still in a discussion board, so it's not a standalone assignment. So that's just the overview for that. Okay, so this next bullet about U90 utilization, since this is a new space, we are having, we need to figure out some more like housekeeping stuff. I mean, it says the person with all the plans. At convocation this morning, they did tell us they are decommissioning this building, this room, and I was like, oh, where are they gonna put me on? I'm kidding. So for U90 utilization, since this is mixed use space, I'm wondering if we need like a calendar to organize this time, like this table in this space. I mean, this is our space, but let's say I needed to meet with the 110 people, right? And it was like getting loud and whatever.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just if faculty meetings are gonna happen and I need to meet with students, it creates like this weird dynamic where I'm now bringing a student into a faculty meeting. And so I'm wondering if we need like hey, I'm gonna have a faculty meeting here from 4 to 5, send out an email, it's on my calendar, or, some type of like, you don't necessarily need to be at this meeting, but I put it on your calendar so you know the room is being used.
Or like
I mean, maybe, I'm just worried that like a document is one more thing we have to check, right?
Yeah.
A document is one more thing that we have
Well, we
to,
need to find out how soon we're gonna move, because it may not be worth all the, if
Yeah.
we're gonna be moving, I think it's gonna be this month.
just something smaller.
So,
Good.
that'll be,
There's no small little piece. I want to taste that though.
I think we should find that out before we spend a lot of energy rearranging here and then move on.
Yeah.
Is it worth putting up maybe just a one-page
Yeah.
white calendar on one of the posted walls?
Yeah, maybe like- like maybe like a whiteboard calendar? That could be like the month ahead, but it's gonna be more than 1 month ahead.
I
Ooh.
was talking February, there's something hot on there that I like.
Hot honey.
Oh, hot honey. Oh, when you said hot honey, I wasn't thinking.
I wasn't talking about your jacket.
Well,
So you're hot, honey.
I was thinking like. Okay.
It's hot, honey. No, we're not there. It's Thursday, not Friday. No kidding. Okay. So yeah, because I think like I don't have as many students that come in here, but I know like sometimes I can be a little obnoxious with my stuff everywhere. So I need to be more mindful of like,
Yeah, the leaving, I will be completely transparent. I asked Marianne to put this on the agenda. For me to come into a space where things are left out all the time, or things are just like left for weeks, is really frustrating. And so I'd like us to think about the fact that this is shared space. And so if there's an ongoing project, great, but like there needs to be some clarity about when that ongoing project is not going. Or like, I'm gonna get things out, but I'm gonna put it away in a day, kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten to that rhythm yet.
No,
Sounds like Victoria.
No, I said,
she's like,
I
are you
said-
talking to her?
are you talking about her? Oh, yeah, she
Possibly.
definitely, she definitely sounds like Victoria.
When I told Peyton, when we had a new space,
If we could just put things away, my friend.
I told Peyton, I said, when we get into the new house, because it's all clean, we're gonna keep it clean. And when we get our house all fixed up and we're gonna move back to the house, we're gonna keep it clean like Auntie Vic. He goes, no.
No.
I was like, sorry, people like to live in clean spaces, so we can continue that dialogue, so we don't have everybody here for that, so we can keep going with that. Events to plan, so this is looking ahead for the semester. We haven't decided if we're gonna do the advisory board together, separate. Oh, what do you think? I know you guys have, okay, more?
Scheduled for.
So
I don't know.
originally, we were gonna have 2 separate advisory boards. because I think the apprenticeship said something about that. It didn't say
Yeah.
separate, but it just said you have to have one.
And then in further investigation, it sounds like we don't have to have one
Okay.
for the apprenticeship, but we do need to have one for the new department that is apprenticeship. So I think that it's fine for us to do the department and the apprenticeship together and
Yeah.
do a collaboration for just SEC.
Yeah.
Instead of doing too many people.
I agree because, sorry, I'm jumping in here. On the apprenticeship side, it's definitely, it's the employer responsibility to do that advisory committee. And I honestly don't want to add another meeting. And also the requirements would be for the union and for other people to be invited. And I just think that would create more problems than necessarily solutions.
Agreed.
Yeah, your email was very like, we don't need more. We don't need more.
Let's keep it simple.
We don't need more. This is what we need.
But I definitely think, like Sarah said, you can definitely embed some of the apprentice stuff into your department one. And I think it would work really well.
We had been kind of doing that up to now. We just weren't sure if it needed to be
Yeah.
separate, but if it doesn't,
Well, it sounds like
There's
Elizabeth
no-
created a committee for us,
She sent an email this morning that we created.
committee, so that there's some governance around it that we could.
Who created a committee?
Elizabeth,
Okay. So am I part of that committee?
I don't think we formed it.
I don't think that.
Oh.
I didn't carefully read the email, so I don't know who else was copied on the.
Because if it's a committee in terms of governance, then I definitely would like to be in that meeting.
Yeah, well, I will speak with Elizabeth.
Great.
I will respond back by email.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I was CC'd on that email.
so
Well, everybody's running in all kinds of directions,
Yeah.
There's all different places here, so I will make sure that you get copied on the email, and of course, I think you should be there.
yeah, it's like little chickens with a head cut off this week, not gonna lie.
Oh my gosh, you're telling me.
It's yeah, I think we just solidified Keisha's schedule yesterday. And at the same time, yeah, it's like, so you will have practicum, but we don't know about the rest of it, like. So just so you know, heads up, our 111A got pushed back to second 8 weeks because it's not full for some reason.
Oh,
108 had 2 full classes and we've contacted them multiple times, but nobody's registering. We even changed the modality from hybrid face-to-face to asynchronous to accommodate, the larger category of students. And still, we only have like 9, maybe 10.
Well,
And
I
111A.
have a theory on that after I got a couple emails from students. I believe that there were people taking the course just to get units to teach in the 23 system. And they didn't necessarily need to go on, they just need to have some child development units, because that wasn't specified in what they had to do. So I think that that's why we got maybe a large group of them. But what I would think we should do is in the class this time, we should ask them in the beginning, why are you taking this class? Are you planning on taking 111? So we should probably ask.
Yeah,
all the
that's-
students.
We haven't had to move that back in quite some time.
But I think that, to be that many people that don't follow through, I think that's probably more, because I remember talking to some people who were having trouble finding classes, because everybody had the same thing, it was a deadline or something. But in order for them to be able to teach the pre-K, CK, they need to have units in child development, didn't matter what, because the system didn't specify that they needed to have
They just said 24 units.
24 hours child, so as long as it had child development, they were good. But they don't necessarily, or they're not necessarily going on to get a degree in.
So are we looking, so I put in here early March, so what do we think? Can we make that decision like now and just,
What do you think?
of when the advisory board is?
We need to decide now because the calendar is going up.
So early March,
Yeah, I think we said in March, but I don't remember what time.
we said Friday, maybe like 10 to 12,
We talked about the.
the 8th. Okay, so
I'm at
we also talked about doing it in person.
I'm at a conference on the 8th.
Okay, so
East
first,
Ave.
On the what?
first,
I'm sorry, I missed it. What's on the first?
we're looking to plan the advisory board meeting. When?
Oh.
The first is good, but then I can't do it until the 22nd after that. First or the 29th. 29th is Good Friday. Oh, well, are you coming to come in?
So it's either the first or the 22nd, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, first or 22nd. Any preferences for the first or the 22nd?
Oh, I was gonna say, 1 second.
No, March.
I like the first. The first works.
The first work.
Yeah, let's just knock it out.
Right. Are we doing AM or PM?
I would say 10 to 12. Do we want it in person? Because that would limit people naturally. But this is a nice little place to show.
Do it on Zoom. Oh, I think that it's probably going to be more efficient than it's on Zoom.
Okay.
What time are we doing this?
10 to 12?
Are we needing to show anything?
We need to take minutes, but I think that the vision sends somebody to do that for us.
So we don't need to tour them or show them anything, then Zoom would be perfect then. Well, we can, if we do it on Zoom, then we can record it from there.
Yeah, so are you good, Janice? 10 to 12, March 1st?
I am. March 1st, actually, I don't have anything. Woohoo! But the 22nd, I'm stacked.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you do now on the 1st. It's done.
10 to 12.
Okay, 10 to 12.
And will you send out a calendar?
I will do a save the dates calendar request today.
And can you send, I know there's been different, over probably the course of COVID and even a little before COVID, people used to send it out to everybody and anybody, and then they kind of got narrowed in. Do we have?
Well, we could, I mean, because we are looking for like new apprenticeship partners, we could cast a pretty wide net. But then that makes some meetings really. What do we want it by?
So-
About? Go ahead, Jenna.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Apprenticeship partners, what does that mean? I'm just putting it out there. I think that before we really cast a wider net or do that, I think internally, we all have to have an understanding of really what are we looking for? Right? So like, are we looking for partners to do eventual hiring committees? I think that needs to be solidified, and what can we really offer so that we can be more targeted in who we select? And by we, I mean you select. I'm adding myself in, but it's you.
Big we, yeah, the big we. Well, we could talk prior to that to define it. I mean, I don't know if today's the right time to do that. I think
Yeah, no, I'm just putting it out there in terms, because that's gonna guide your guest list.
Oh, correct.
The other thing is that, like, a lot of the colleges are gearing, like, we have contracts with 3 local school districts to get those 24 units accomplished for the TK programs at our college, right? So it's like, there's a lot of colleges tapping into school districts and getting, you know, and we've actually filled like additional 6 to 7 classes with all those. Right. So having, you know, and it makes good connections with the
School
districts,
districts?
because then you're also building those articulation opportunities also. Right.
Well, see, for us, we don't, we have a very limited amount to do that with. And we could, but now we're talking about 2 major topics here, apprenticeship and professional development. So we could put the professional development on a completely different meeting and not make it as an advisory. Make it more like, we would like to partner and we meet with.
Yeah,
lunch.
that's true.
Just make it completely separate because, I mean,
Well, it's hit or miss. Sometimes
Early co- I
I
just-
work with, and sometimes they're not. They had to change the leadership. One person who I had been working with, she got reassigned to doing something else.
mhm.
And so, because we were talking to them about the non-traditional apprenticeship, if they weren't ready to do something like that now, so. Again, part of my reason for asking is also, one of the things in thinking about the conversation that we've been having all this week about marketing and about programs. SEC has made a big shift and we've made some changes, and I just don't know if those changes are known in the areas that need to know about it. So like
Like what
not just
specifically?
me and not just Sarah being here, but the department has grown we're talking about, we're moving, there's some things, so I'm wondering if, even if we ensure, I know we'll probably connect with maybe the programs that are around us, but even thinking about, Jody's getting, mentors, and we're needing to branch out, and so on. So I'm wondering if now might be an opportunity for us to say, go back to maybe some of the programs, or even looking at some of the accredited programs in a like 20-mile radius, or even a 10-mile radius, and looking at, even if they don't come, inviting them and saying, hey, and if that
Like a
means
show and tell
meeting
a
some
little
of the new people,
I mean, I think if we're gonna ask direct service providers to come, we can't have a morning meeting,
Right.
right? Like,
Correct.
we'd like you to come to this meeting, we wanna engage you, but it's at
But it's-
11 when you're all in the classroom with children.
Yeah.
So if
So
we
that-
wanna do that, it needs to be an evening meeting.
I would agree with that. I also think that, and maybe we kind of think about what we're looking for, like, I'm going back again to thinking about the department, thinking about where the department needs to go and where we want to grow. Yes, there are new people coming into the field. Yes, there are family childcare providers and, other people. I'm thinking about, like, is Melissa a good contact to come? Would Sharon be a good contact to come? And those kinds of things. And I don't know, there's a part of me that just feels like maybe it's time, because we're now 7 months in, for people just to see, hey, here's some things that have been happening.
Well, yeah,
that you may or may not be aware of.
so typically we do update the community on what's new, right?
Yeah.
So, but that could definitely be part of the meeting, but what's our overarching point of it? We have to get advice,
So,
counsel from the community.
yeah, can I step in? Because I believe that meeting, really the purpose for it is the workforce has to have input into the
Correct.
college and the department, right? And so we're looking at it, and I see it as maybe what Keisha was talking about being a great opportunity, but more of an open house, and let us tell you what's new in our department, and maybe an evening program, but then having your other meeting, your advisory meeting, separate from that.
Yeah, I'm good with open house.
Because if you really want to capture the most amount of people, right, it depends on who you want. Like school district employees and Department of Ed employees will come during work hours, but providers will come after work, where the same isn't necessarily going to happen. Right. So I
Yeah.
think you need to be strategic to what it is that you're really looking to do to accomplish.
Well, I think we do have to be strategic, but we also, I'm also looking towards fall, which I know fall, we tend to have more people, but I'm also looking to next spring. So we can build on fall and keep the people that we had on fall to build on to spring.
Are you telling the people that will be in the classroom, or?
I'm talking about in terms of enrollment. I'm
Well, that's
thinking-
a different population.
Yeah, I'm thinking about enrollment, but I'm also thinking about, so I know whenever I've gone and we've had them, and I've been a part of them, part of the conversation also is not just, when you hire our teachers, our students, what are their strengths? What are you finding that we give them and they bring to you, but also would you like to see us do in different ways? But it's also that piece of what classes, here's some classes we have, I can think of a lady that used to come all the time and say, you guys need to have school age, you need to have school age, you need to have school age. We finally were able to do that. So that's just what my mind is.
So we
thinking.
have a lot of,
That's a
yeah.
provider's meeting. which
right,
is
so we have
just
so many
for-
different stakeholders.
Yeah,
We can make it a large,
maybe an open house is for them, these stakeholders for the open house.
we could maybe do a 3 to 4 meeting and then a 4 to 6 open house. So some people could come and some people can come after, I don't know.
If it could be done in the same day, would be nice, and we're not doing all these different days, but I also know that always cannot happen.
Well, I think putting it all together, you could say, we're
Correct.
having a business meeting. And then we're stay after for,
I don't know, I just feel like after seeing the spring, I feel like we need to think about spring 25 and
Yeah.
fall. I know we don't have a crystal ball, but in some ways we need to think about how we can support ourselves and our department in this shift that's happening.
So I know, so Regina, what would you think is the minimum responsibility of the advisory board? It's to advise us, but at the same time, I know that SAC has them vote on stuff. I don't feel comfortable with that either, because they don't.
That's what I'm used to advisory boards voting and being, that's my understanding of what they're supposed to.
Sometimes they prioritize on, like, for example, just because it has to come back to your division and it's part of the CTE, right? You have to
Correct.
submit that stuff. But sometimes they're voting on like priorities as far as like work, like we're right now, we just did a community advisory when we had a vote on, because we have a strong workforce grant and we're gonna have workshops throughout the year, what those workshops should be.
Yeah.
And it's not like a crucial vote, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, we want to make sure that everyone feels heard
Okay, so
and that CTE
Yeah.
sees that we're using our stakeholders to make decisions about what we
I
want to do.
think this is the piece where the community is supposed to give input into how
Yeah.
our college program is run. And if what we're doing meets the needs of the business community,
Correct.
because that's the 60 portion. And usually with the funding that we get the strong workforce. Like
Also,
we're meeting
And
the
it should
needs
be
of
tied to
our.
Perkins
of
too.
the-
Yeah.
So-
also certificates, you've talked about like, oh, we want to develop a certificate or we want to develop a new program. Like, you can't just say, oh, I'm Marianne, I'm gonna start a new program.
No, that would be,
But-
hi, I'm Susie, I'm starting.
I know. Hi, I'm Susie.
Right when you said
Hi,
it.
I'm Susie. I'd like to start a new certificate. But you have to actually get stakeholders to say like, we agree with you, and then there's,
Those that come to chat here.
Oh.
So Jody.
Jody says yesterday I participated OCDE sponsored focus group about a vision for UK. One of the things that resonated with all was connecting as an entire early parent.
Yeah.
Now we're getting big.
Jody, was that OCDE sponsored or LPC sponsored?
It was through Robin, shoot, I don't remember her name. It just came from OCD, and I'm in another focus group tomorrow morning about workforce development. I just signed up for them. I got an email and said, hey, I said, okay, sure, why not? And it was like, what is my vision for OCDE? I mean, for UPK. And there was a lot of, there were Orange District people there, and there were a couple other district level people there. And yeah, it was really fruitful. But one of the things, there were preschool owner directors there. And one of the things that came out of it was, we want resources. We want a lot of this, some of it's already around, like a landing page where, we can find all the resources. Well, there's a lot of those around. And, but the biggest piece was connecting without competition.
Oh, again.
Because the family child care providers feel like they're getting stuck with infant and toddlers because of the scoop up of all the.
No, they're privileged.
What?
If they're not
Well-
stuck, they're being privileged. They
Well,
have
that's
these
true. And,
wonderful babies.
I know, and they drool on you and make funny faces and fart and do all that stuff. But yes, I totally agree. But infant toddler care is not for everybody. And that's important to keep in mind as well. Not everybody loves babies. People like doing stuff where the kids can, make roll Play-Doh balls. And that's just a personal preference. And so anyway, that's just what came out of that meeting. And that's all I wanted to say was in support of, yes, there is a need to get together. I understand that district people and faculty don't always want to come on a weekend. It is a weekend. They already put their 40 hours in, but I know some of the people at the district would come on a weekend because they can adjust their,
Yeah, I never
OCDE
went-
can adjust their schedules.
Yeah, did you hear us? Nobody was like, let's do it on a Saturday. Like,
Yeah,
it's possible, but I don't know, that could.
I'm just saying, it's not gonna make, and we all agree, yeah, there's a schedule issue, but, somebody's gotta decide that they wanna do it bad enough to come to it. It's 2 hours out of your entire life It's not a year.
Do you like the idea of maybe, I like that open house idea, and I think that helps, and there can be some information, gotten from that, but I also, and I think the advisory is definitely what we need to do in time. But, one of the things I wanna, I guess, I do see that there are lots of plates that we have that are spinning. Are, cause we have the apprenticeship, we have the department, we have.
Yeah.
But I do think that part of what we're going to is that we are a multifaceted department now. And so if we can do one thing and it covers all of those things, great. But there may be times where it's not going to, but there may be times that it will. So I just think it's important for us to keep the department in mind as well.
We are growing,
Yeah,
but we can't do everything all at once. It's gonna be a
correct,
build.
correct.
It's gonna definitely be a build. So, so right now I have advisory board topics: apprenticeship, CDEV, school district partnerships, infant, toddler, UPK.
I'm wondering if for the
What's your-
interest of time, we want to maybe set up a separate meeting that just plans the advisory.
Yeah.
Like we've got 30 minutes left of our meeting and I don't want us
Yeah,
to
that's
spend
good.
the whole time just like brainstorming, like we may need just a planning meeting where that's our only
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Jody's giving me thumbs up.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's
Yeah,
nothing, I
that's
used to be so aversionary to planning meetings for planning meetings, but clearly this is
Yeah.
a big,
But like this
and
is,
we are shifting. So
Right.
this is gonna be a new era. So I think, a little bit bigger, a little bit more inclusive, but also keep in mind, like I put school district partnerships on there, but that could be a whole separate project.
Well, maybe we might. need to
Well,
move
I think
on.
we do need to table this for now, so that we can move on and get some of this other stuff done,
Okay.
because obviously we're not gonna come to a decision like right
Oh,
now.
No, not at all.
Too
So
much
we have a
to
date.
learn.
We have a date.
The date
March
is-
1st is the date.
And so I would say in the next 2 weeks, we need to have it. So I'll put out a doodle poll for the next 2 weeks.
Yes, and I'm gonna have to get going. I'm sorry, I have another meeting, surprise, surprise, at 1 o'clock. But Regina, can you send me some information or like, can we connect later to discuss the Brain Awareness Week activities with the Child Development Center?
Yes, what time do you want me to call you?
Call me after 4 today. I have meetings back to back until 4.
Okay, that's fine, okay.
Awesome, thank you. Bye, guys.
Good. Hey, Janet.
All right, and then that was a nice thing to Brain Awareness Week. Our illustrious leader has finally gotten another pipe dream off and running.
Yeah, dump them on everybody else and then you see.
But no, but wait, I was so actually surprised that everybody else was like, yeah, let's do this. I thought they were gonna look us like with crossed eyes and be like, what is everybody else doing?
No,
Like,
no, I've always thought the college should do it. It didn't make any sense that the child development department was doing it for the whole college. And going like, well, what about the science department? What about biology?
I know, the one I wrote. I think you bought that right there.
So,
If you have one, yeah, that would be great.
Brain Awareness Week is March 11th to 17th. We've had a couple of meetings with the person who is actually charged with planning, which is Carol Rosen, I believe.
Carol Rosen,
And
she-
Melissa Campanelli. Those two, and we've met, and, so far, I think the agenda did come out on this, you got a copy of it.
Get one yet. So our goal was to do something and involve pretty much all parts of the campus in some fashion. And so Regina did approach the ASG president today. So I was like, well, have you been approached? And he said, no. So what was your offer for him?
Well, I told them I would give them a ping pong table that they would take charge of it and make sure that the students played ping pong during Brain Awareness Week.
Yeah, and I've got
Ping pong.
cornhole. There should be every day that week, there should be something physical out there in the quad. So I do need to see the agenda. So
Well, none of it on the agenda is anything that what we think is going to interfere with. So I think that whatever we do will be just a matter of where to put it, like, the coloring pages. I think that every day we can have a different
Right.
coloring activity. And one day we're gonna have them doing the brain hats, because everybody seems like to do those.
never mind, I should just start ordering it now.
So, that, you get the students involved, and they may even want to take charge of something that they find, who knows?
Yeah, so we were talking about maybe practicum students, maybe apprentices, and I'll have my students do something for extra credit or whatnot. So Yeah, I want people to understand that the brain, they have one and we have to learn about it and figure it out and maximize it and whatnot.
One of the things we want to be thoughtful about when we're thinking about apprentices is that they're all working 30 hours a week
Right.
for the first time in their life.
For
So asking them to do extra may not be realistic. We can
Right.
share it with them. we can
Yeah,
offer
that's
it to
what I
them.
mean. Like, I'm
We
not
just don't want to
expecting.
count them in as volunteers.
No, it would be great if they could do something, but yeah, their scope is pretty laid out.
Well, I think even just giving them the information of how using Play-Doh is good for brain development and learning. I mean, I don't think that's really do anything to do that. I think just to be cognizant of what you are doing, how it is affecting the little brains that you're managing. Absolutely. That's needed.
So I will go back and look at my syllabus. Yeah, that might be later. That might be more in like memory retrieval chapter and things like that. So we could probably maybe do something interesting. So like support it in the classroom. Maybe have them take a selfie out in some activity that they're doing, like that, you know, something like this supports the brain. Like, I know your students can't take pictures or whatnot, but like,
I mean, they can take non-face pictures
Yeah.
if it's shared within.
and then, yeah, we're gonna keep hammering that down. I'm just really excited the campus is getting on board with that. Because there's so many different things to do, you know? I mean, it's like, if the students all got comfortable with their brains and realized, maybe my brain is just at this time, like I'm not thinking clearly, or I need to hydrate, or I need food, or I need rest, or like if there was some plan other than more caffeine and push myself, you know, I think some actual legitimate brain science with self-care wrapped in would go a long way for even our future. Okay, also Imagine Knowledge, April 15th through 16th. It is the end of it's the end of spring break, I believe. So
Yeah.
it used to be a 3-day event. Here's another recall on that. It's a 2-day event. It's at the fairgrounds. It's 10 to 5, Saturday, Sunday. And for the last, I think, 3 years, I've been there with students. Not a lot of students, but last year was practicing students. It was kind of cute. But now they're looking for us to pay for the spot. And I don't know if it's a return the money. I got to find out more. I just talked to the coordinator. She's like, yeah, we're requiring deposits now. And I'm like, we're a nonprofit in a school. I don't know if anybody's gonna be like, yay, let's pay to go. Like,
We're
so,
doing them a favor.
Correct.
And
So,
we're
I don't
paying for
know.
everything that we bring there and providing one more activity for them to do whatever they're doing. So
yeah,
I'm not quite so sure why they're charging the people who are
It's-
making their event.
yeah, it's a super duper fun event. So it's like the fair without the ride. The
Is it
maker,
at the Orange County Fair?
maker space, and it's every possible, you know, like our gemology goes like OCC's there, like there's book vendors, there's the reptiles, there's everything. There's Lego people, there's cooking demonstration. I mean, it's like the fair without.
Does the child development from OCC go?
I
Or
think
just OCC in general?
I think it's OCC in general. I didn't see child development school
Yeah.
with something.
I don't remember them talking about that.
Yeah, I've never seen them there.
And the intention is so that students get experience with children.
Well, if our students volunteer, yeah, they get experience with children, and then, but for the community, it's marketing us, and then it's also teaching about the brain. So we did like, you know, brain awareness stuff, or we did sensory bottles, and ran out of all of those supplies in 4 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, so we're gonna go origami and coloring, and like, it was fun. Yeah, it was just like, how do we make this material less rich, but more impactful? Like, so I have like a little marketing section, you know, like one table with our stuff on it, and then a couple of tables to do some stuff. And last year I used glitter glue. I'm not doing that again. The year before it was actual glitter. Yeah, the glitter beads, they were I still go back to the fair in the summer. I'm like, oh, there's one of my
markers this year.
yeah, we're gonna do crayons, pencils. And so, yeah, I mean, you know, I had Brian there for an entire weekend with me one time, just doing water bottles, and so I was like, oh, so we'll plan that ahead. And it's one of those things where you get parking passes and you get to go free, and it's super fun. So even Recess Revolution is there. It's like loose parts, but with like big loose parts.
Cool.
And she has like the wine garden, and then it's just like kids running them up with like tires and old curtains and pipes and tubes, and just having the best time. I would take a break and just sat there and watch them all. So yeah, if we could get students to volunteer, anything that would be helpful. It's also a great way to test out students who would be great for a science night. May 28th is the week before finals.
Yeah, for the time. I don't know
I
why
don't
it's so
know
late.
what they're doing, man. That's a lot, it's a lot. Due before finals. Gee, man.
And science night is community based.
Yeah, it's here.
It's like the trick or trunk, but
Yes.
science based. Okay.
Usually students from Orange University.
Okay.
One year-
In
one time-
conjunction- I don't know if this is being done in conjunction with them. We can find out about that.
Yes, one time it was Placentia or Belinda that what they was helping too, but it's the entire campus. So not typically the U building. But classrooms are open, they're doing whatever. It's like basically whatever the theme is, people kind of disregard it, do whatever. So there was like a dinosaur one the year that I got here, but then you'll see dinosaurs walking around campus. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or there was one about trains one year, I think, and then, Calm is like, we're gonna do it here for airplanes, like, somebody. It's just a lot of just run around free, like,
OCC did do that. They had a big.
yeah, so it's one of those things that we collaborate with Enriqueta over there as well, but, we've done the GAC or whatever, the sludge, we've done bubbles, we've done, the water beads we're not doing anymore, like,
No, we're not doing.
no, and Amazon actually emailed me and said, you, in the past year, purchased water beads. We are not recommending blah, blah, blah for the children. I was like, all right.
Do we typically partner with the Child Development Center?
Yeah, they usually do face painting.
Okay.
And then they bring out some of their like bubble trays. But
Yeah, we've
that's a
also
mess.
had,
Yeah.
chicken patch too.
They should have funding for all the materials. You guys should have to pay for that.
No, we shouldn't.
Center should be paying that,
I think they can. I think they do.
because usually they have money for.
Yeah, after my first year and I did 7 different stations in one room and only got 50 people for the night. Yeah, I stopped spending money. Yeah, it was a lot. So that's coming up. I just want to keep that on. I mean, we have so many different things. I didn't even put all our conferences on here, but that's, if you look at the back of the page, we have our calendar. Now, I'm not sure if I missed anything because I did put school stuff in green. I put the permit parties in orange, and I put the dark blue for department meetings.
Love it.
And then March. 3-1. I think that works. What else? So I did put CAEYC in April on there. I put OKIC on the 16th. What else? I put, campus stuff in holidays. Oh yeah, I didn't put, there's 2 President's Days in February, so 16th and the 19th, no class.
I'm wondering if it could be like, I feel like one of the things that would be really helpful is like a module that goes in like everybody's class that has not only the CDTC stuff, and like a good place to talk about the steps for success, but like also getting involved in, like, just basically like, almost like this module includes, I know it would take some work, but we actually talked about this, as part of like, when I was saying I can help with these certain things, getting a grant, but one of the things I noticed is like, for me, I know we talk about the permit party, cause like sometimes in passing, you've been like, oh yeah, we had a permit party, but I don't feel like it's getting out there enough, like, it's more like, oh, your students, and then maybe if you pick up on talking to one of us, like, oh yeah, we'll send it out to our students, but it didn't go out. I don't think it's going out enough, like,
Yeah,
to
no,
get
enough.
them, the attention of all the students, like maybe a flyer that even, and maybe the module's a bad idea, but just for that particular thing, like, I don't know if there's like maybe someone who just automatically sends it out each time.
Well, that was
Or-
part of our recent conversation. We have a new PIO, but well, we have to meet with them. And, yeah, it's a lot moving forward because even Darcy suggested that she run some of our social media, but we didn't get any favorable responses on that quite yet. So, we need a lot more information out, and
Yeah.
we are
But
very
what about if
uncoordinated.
we made up just like for the IT people, that we had a part of the initial page where all that other stuff is there, is that the majors meetings are there just for child development.
think
And
Amanda
that we
could
just
add
get
that
it
to
out.
The website. You're talking about on the website?
Yeah.
Amanda could add that pretty easily. Every time I've emailed her about adding stuff to the apprenticeship, she's like, oh, it's done.
Yeah. Also, like, one of the other things that I know it's, school starts next week, but like, one of the easiest things to do is to just make an assignment that says, here's all the permit parties, right? And then it can be sent, like, you can send it to everybody as an assignment, and it goes in, and people can drop it in whatever module they're in that moment, and it's an extra credit opportunity, but then students will see it, cause it's like becomes, you know, an actual assignment. So it's like, it's done, it's ready to go for adjunct, and, that's super easy. I mean, I'm happy to make that for you guys, but like, you know what I mean? And then it just gets sent to each person in the department.
Yeah.
They drop it into a module, and students will definitely see it. And then they're like, oh gosh, I can go to one of those, right? The other thing is, like, I think it would be really cool to have it, is it a permit party or is it a topic?
We
Like,
call it a monthly majors meeting, and we can select topic and have a with the permit.
okay, so it's a majors meeting, not necessarily a permit party,
We
or?
call it a monthly majors meeting, and it covers more than just the permit.
But they're not on here.
No, we just had the dates are down here with Joe's stuff down here.
Oh, okay.
And then I put them on, and then I put them in orange in the back.
I have seen modules and I know that they have modules where you can like, I think at OCC it says, thinking about being in child development, a career in child development, and then they have like maybe 3 or 4 kind of pieces to it. I can show it to you, but, and that was given to everyone and, it was part of what you put in your canvas.
I mean, we've talked about going back to the success, and then you just have, if you do that, then each step will have its own module, but like this, for the majors meetings, if we know what it is up front, then we can actually make an actual assignment that's already done, and so students can see it and be like, oh,
I like
on February 22nd, there's a major meeting talking about this, I wanna go to that, like, I'll go to that, cause I'm gonna get 5 extra credit points. If they kind of know what the topic, well, I think sometimes when you just see majors meetings without like a specific thing, they don't tend to necessarily, unless it's targeted to like the practicum students or students who are just finishing, what's your like, we don't have like a 4th class, right? Because there's no prerequisites.
What do you mean?
Like where they finish 4 classes and they can start applying for the associate teacher.
I have to finish 5 here.
Right. Yeah, oh, that's true, because we have the 108.
They can't do
Me
it
and Gwen,
anymore.
me and Gwen designed that. If you wanted.
I'm like, sorry, I've been talking trash on you since I got here. I've been out here taking care of this thing.
Well, here's why, because every college has a different way of laying things out, and some people put observation later, and some people have it early, and Gwen and I were pretty emphatic that one of my problems coming in, like, I was this young person coming in, and I was like, I don't get it when you're standing here and all these students are doing observations in all these classes, and you basically have to go over what is an anecdotal note, what is in every single class.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are we not doing 108 early on?
My issue is not with
And
108.
huh?
My issue is not with 108.
Oh.
My issue is with 111A.
And so 111A, that's, oh, you mean being
Because they have to take 111A to get to 111B, which means you have to take 107 before 108, before 111A, before 111B, so you're here for 5 semesters. So in a workforce setting, when I'm trying to get people in a classroom as soon as possible and give them on-the-job training, I have to wait. You know, I mean, yes, they can be assistants once they're enrolled, but like, it's such a barrier, and now that our workforce is devastated, that's a turn off for this particular.
It wasn't
campus.
built in for this type of.
Yeah.
industry.
well, you can change, a lot of schools have changed it since we've been pushing now the pathways. So they've changed it to where it's, you can take 107, like in this college, if you could say, you could take 107 and 108 together. Or
Prerequisites.
as co-requisites, and then you could take 111A and 111B as co-requisites. So then you would be able to knock that out in 3 semesters. So that's not an unreasonable change because moving forward, that is something that a lot of colleges have done to sort of continue, you know. I think the reason why we did it in the past was we didn't have people going for their bachelor's and their
We wanted them to stay
We wanted them to
longer.
stay as
Yeah,
long as
absolutely.
possible, because we wanted them, but your point is valid. We just put 108 early because we were like, let's give them a really good, clean understanding of assessment, because you can't create quality curriculum without understanding the child.
Yeah.
And so that's. what
108
I
is
think-
very important.
Yeah,
Not just great,
yeah.
108 is important.
Yeah, 10 to 15 units. but-
Okay, so we're at 1:15.
Sorry, we're
No,
trying.
I figured we would cut it at 1:30 only because we have our next meeting at 2. And plus we wanna, take a break and walk down there, but, in regards to, I mean, these are ongoing conversations clearly, so, we will talk about how to keep moving forward on this, and I want everybody to have an update for like 3 minutes.
Okay.
And then just like rapid fire update.
Hey, can I just ask for the major meeting? Would you like, is that something that you're open to? What, like creating an assignment that then would go out to every person, and then they can just download it from when they get it.
Yeah, we
into
want more,
whatever class.
we want more skin in the game, but.
I think that'd be a great idea.
Do it.
To assign that, because it is really, I feel the same way. We get a couple of students that show up, and it's not really just only about the permit. We want to connect with, our students as well. So it's more than that.
I'll show you the slide.
So I think it'd be great.
And then.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, I think the thing that we do need to mention is about the SLOs is probably the most important thing we haven't talked about. So.
Okay, so moving forward all the way to the SLOs,
Yeah, we need to briefly mention that.
that's under the new proposed items discussion. So can you give a backstory on that? I mean, because we've been talking about it for quite some time.
Well, there's no backstory that we're supposed to be assessing our classes, and that's a part of our job as faculty. And we've been kind of lax in getting that all done for various reasons. We had changed the LMS system and just a whole bunch of stuff. But anyway, we can't keep doing it that way, and every professor is responsible for assessing their own class. So we need to make sure that this semester, that whatever class you're teaching, the SLOs that you do evaluating, they have to be entered into curriculum. Mary Ann's
Illumin.
back one day, but Mary Ann will work with you to help to get you up to speed of how to enter it. You have to enter it directly yourself because you're not going to know your class. But it's a pain to have to learn a whole new system to do that. And that's kind of been the barrier, is that we've had to learn the system to do it with a lot of pieces. And now we've got to make sure that you all know the system to be able to enter your class.
So I'm hoping to have individual meetings with everybody, because we were looking at a way for me to do it for everybody, but we can't. So it's your login, it's your class roster, but I can help you figure out what the assessment is, how to measure it, and what it looks like. Your class roster pops up and it's like pass, no pass, pass, no pass, no pass. And it disaggregates. So if we have a 46-year-old Hispanic disabled veteran, it will disaggregate every single one of those factors and let us know how successful those students are or not. So again, if you guys weren't at the convocation this morning, it was data heavy and veiled threats rich. It was like, this is coming, the budget cut is coming, and efficiency's coming, and your stats better be, I was like, oh gosh, so yeah, we gotta get it all, we gotta get it all in
What
So-
deadline do you have here? What
there. Last year,
for
for the.
No, we're supposed to be assessing the classes each fall. Right. Or the first time that you offer the class. So all the classes that people taught last fall, that information should already be in Illumin. If it's not, we will help you get it in, and that will help you understand how you're going to get it in for this semester.
It actually puts your mindfulness on success metrics in your entire class a little bit differently. Why am I doing this assignment? What does success really look like? Do I have a detailed enough rubric? What do I want the students to really know? Why are we doing, like, what does it look at the end? How does this line up with the objectives? Like,
it really gives you a different, lens to look at your class and what's successful. Because we know what a good teacher looks like, and we also know great A's are great, but that doesn't make a perfect teacher, right? You can have an average student who makes them a great teacher. Did they learn the right skills? Maybe, maybe not. So it really kind of helps give us more ownness and not just in administering curriculum, but measuring it from front to back. It's kind of interesting. I mean, and of course, I'm a little bit of a nerd and a sociology major, so I'm like, all right, this is what we do. So what I'll do, I'm planning on carving out my Fridays for this. So what I'll do is I will contact each person separately and just say, when's a good time? Let's do it together. I could probably do one overview with everybody and say, this is what it looks like. This is what we're going for, and then meet up with it. How does that sound? Darcy, Jody, good? Cool.
Feedback.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's almost like when we learned the new self-service. It's like a system kind of like that. And I know Darcy and Jody, you guys have been in eLumen. It can be a little cumbersome with all the different tabs and all the businesses, but if we just focus and narrow it down, it's doable, very doable.
Suggestion that you might want us who teach like a class that we're the only one who teaches it, to maybe send you like what our plan is for those three major assignments. Because if you're like meeting, let's say me, like, and you're like, oh, let's meet March 15th, and you're like, those are actually not really summative assessments. Those are great discussions or whatever. And I have to change it up in the middle of my class. I can't really do that, right? So you might want to consider checking in with everybody, like have people send you
Now,
then so that it's like, hey, those are really good three solid,
okay.
and we can figure out how all the other things connect, like in the table, but at least for sure that those are good, strong, one for each. Like, here's the SLO, here's a good assessment. Here's the SLO, here's a good assessment.
Right, so like for, like Darcy would be 215, 216, 216,
Right.
203, 204, something like that.
Yeah.
But she's the unique professor on that.
Yeah, and I'm the unique professor on,
Right,
but it's like, here's my SLOs and here's what I'm doing for each one of here's the major assignments that I'm doing for those three. And you're like, okay, because then pretty much usually the full-time faculty like set it up in the eLumen so that when we go in, it's just ready to, you know what I mean? And I can
Okay.
help you with that. like,
Well, I
if you-
mean, a lot of them don't know how to set up it. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's why
Yeah.
you guys usually set it up, and then like, all we do is go put it in once the because the students will all go in there. The names will all automatically, but someone has to set up the actual, like, here's the rubric for that inside a Lumen.
Yeah.
And usually it's us full-time, I mean, at different colleges, whatever, but yeah. That's just.
It's a lot, and here's the thing, once we get it in and we get comfortable with getting it in, it just becomes second nature. It's just one of those new things, like, takes a little bit to get it in. Then I call it the hamster wheel of life, is trying to get it into the hamster wheel of life, and then it becomes part of the show. Oh,
It's not optional, so.
not optimal. Plus, that's another thing, if we're saying we're doing awesome and we're growing, we have to prove it, we have to put our stats where our mouth is. So, yeah, and data can be interpreted, but it doesn't lie.
So when do you have to have it do you have a May 1st, June 1st, deadline for?
Well, okay, so if you technically, fall should have been after you turned your grades in.
Okay,
But there's not anything set up in there yet for the classes.
right,
So
right,
it has to get set up
right,
first.
okay.
And we can practice on fall grades and then prep for spring.
Okay,
Right, that's kind of like, that to me is the best way to do it, because you're like, okay, what do I have already? And let's learn it here and then have a second opportunity to apply it as we go forward.
okay.
So it's doable. It's doable. It just gives you a different lens on yourself. Any questions, Darcy, Jody? We're probably gonna like wrap it up in like the next 5. Anything major off that updates? Anything, because I can skip my part, we're good.
All the honors and stuff you say other than, here's the 5 pages of the honors agenda, if you care, I can read it. Otherwise, it'll be on in Lumen and you can see it.
So it's going through curriculum. It's-
It will, the first curriculum meeting is until March something, so, but anyway.
Because of the holidays. Crazy. And then for me, I did share casually my winter stats with a couple people. The 4-week 107, how many people passed, how many people didn't, what was a general, like, content of the types of people that were in there. And so, yeah, 50% passed. And so I was like, and I also ran the numbers on the time spent. So the people who passed with an A spent 18 hours a week. The people that failed with an F spent 18 hours. For the month, for the month.
For the month. Oh,
Yeah, so I,
That's no surprise.
right, but I mean, it's like, I really like set up in my classes, this is the grid, this is the time, this is the thing, this is all the stuff, and yeah, so I'm good, my stuff is, and then I'm reaching out to the PIO to create a marketing plan, 'cause we need more, we need more of that. Yeah. So Jody, you're good with those are the dates that you gave me, I put those on the calendar, I'll update the flyer.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know that there was a whole lot of rhyme or reason. I just tried to avoid spring break and not make it the first week because that's always a surprise on my calendar, the first week. I'm not always dialed in.
Can we give Sarah the last minute because
Oh, please do.
apprenticeship kickoff week?
I have much to say.
give her 1 minute.
You
We're
get a whole
doing-
minute.
We have 25 apprentices. 17 have been officially hired and will start in the centers this week. 7
Woohoo!
are diligently working. 1 has a family emergency and we're gonna touch base when she returns back into the country. Yeah, we're kicking off and taking names.
Yep,
Good
absolutely.
job.
My language.
No,
Yeah.
never. No,
Yeah,
never.
and
One-
then 5 on my cohort for fall, but we'll be steadily increasing to 20. My plan is to recruit for both cohort 1 and cohort 2 at the same, or excuse me, 2 and 3 at the exact same time. So, you have students that would make a great apprentice. They do need to be limited in the classes they've taken. They really need to have only taken 107. But if you have students, please send them my way.
Maybe I'll have you come talk to my phone. So, too. And then,
That'd be a good thing to do. Go to the 107 classes.
and then,
I just have one thing to say to, and that is about the Child Development Training Consortium. Janet and I are both talking to CDTC about the funding because these students are getting their tuition paid, they're getting their books paid. They may not be eligible for the CDTC.
Only a portion. We can only pay for the class and the materials of the units tied to the program. So I would say about half of them are still taking additional coursework that is not paid for through
Great,
through the CAI grant.
perfect. I just need a little clarification on that. And since you're there and I'm here, I just took advantage of this moment. Perfect. I will look at their applications as they come in then. And then I'll touch base with you,
And
Sarah, to get,
Maybe we can touch base because I do also have a
Yeah.
short list of things that they have to do for the program that we don't, that we haven't reimbursed for. So I was hoping that support grant could cover the like, has to have a parking pass, has to do a health screening. So we can touch base.
well, I don't, the support goes directly to the students. I don't care how they spend it.
Yeah.
So, that grant covers everything and anything. I don't categorize it other than I think I put some money in for supplies for the department this time
Perfect.
in our budget. I might have redone it and just put it all to students because you got a whole classroom of that stuff, but we'll see. But I'll look back at it again in a little bit. Thanks, Sarah. Let's get together then sometime.
and
I'm
not,
home today and tomorrow.
but not to be last but not least,
Always.
I want to say good job to Miss Keisha for
Oh, thanks.
your version of taking out and taking names. Why don't you hold up the binder?
Oh, the famous binder now.
Right here.
Oh. I
So,
think you got my binder.
yeah.
Wow.
So we,
This is old school.
old school,
No
there's
school
something-
like the old school.
sometimes you have to go back to the basics. Go
So
back to what's
Keisha, if you
working.
guys aren't aware, Keisha has been working with Alicia McKinnish to polish the diamond of practicum, and now
Woohoo!
over, it's like Tiffany's level right now. It's like,
Wonderful.
So we
It needed a lot of love.
haven't SCC practicum in a long time,
and there's eight
and we have eight
SCC
students enrolled.
only practicum, and there's 8 students.
So it's been a great partnership with the Child Development Center, Janice, Alicia and I have been working together, Susie,
Wonderful.
and Craig,
Absolutely fantastic.
and we're excited. And then, Jody, just today I got a printout of your map or the handbook that you put together.
Uh-huh.
Regina found it, so I made, yeah.
Oh, good.
It's
So
in
you
that
can,
book.
But we may be using some of that in either this practicum or also for Sarah over there
Yeah.
too.
yeah, it could be used for any of it. I think it just has some real, like what I try to think about is if I had an employee, what would I want them to be aware of? Like, yes, when you sign up for this job, you will be lifting, you will be hauling, you will be toting. Can you do this physically? You know, that doesn't mean, you know, that you can't hire them. It just means that those are the kinds of things we need to know as employers. So yeah, so have fun with it. You know, it's I can send you the Word file or you can do whatever you want with it. I mean, it can be redone in different formats. It doesn't matter. Anyway, thanks. Good.
The 2.9ers are coming, and everyone seems to be a little flux about it, but I love it
saying
too.
that,
So I think it's gonna be great, but
highly dysregulated.
yeah,
Hilariously
so
upset.
I feel like it's gonna be fine. But I think financially it won't be fine, but I think the kids are gonna be fine. People. But I worked with mixed age groups. I have had the privilege of working with mixed age groups my entire career. So
So what's happening in,
the 3-year-olds are being taken,
oh, yeah.
and so
Yeah.
ones are coming now, and so a lot of programs, and
We'll
especially
have a
this
lot of
day,
different problems.
they're gonna have, yes, they'll have the 2.1s, 2.2s, they'll have to be probably toilet learning again and going back to some of the basics, so one of the things we really need to look at, and probably won't be able to have it till summer, is we are gonna need to ramp up the infant toddler.
Well,
Yep.
that's probably gonna need to have more classes other than just the basic classes, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Actually, I think if we can get that going really quickly, we'll be ahead of everybody else.
Well, let's talk about it to get it in now. So
Yeah.
wait, really quick around here.
Yeah. Well, we have a class, we can just.
We have, yeah, we have.
But that's one of the things maybe you and I'd love to hear what you're hearing about.
But if you want another class, it has to go through curriculum this semester.
Right.
May is the last.
And so, being that we have so few meetings, we need to be looking at that now because we only have, in March.
I think we can work with.
Two
what we
in
have
March and
right
three
now
in
for
April.
infant class. I think we can work with what we have for now and just probably look at what is happening in those 2 infant classes and really scale those.
Well, the other thing is the new foundations are coming out this summer. And so that'll be another tool that we'll have. They didn't redo the frameworks. You guys already know that, I'm sure. But yeah, so those are coming out. And then I don't know when the DRDP is being revised or if I lost track of that one.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies. We're gonna wrap it up because we had to go to our next meeting, but thank you so
Hey,
much.
have fun. Bye.
Stay in contact, you know, I got it. Call me anytime.
Yep.
Bye.
Thank you.
Hey,
Good seeing you
Becky.
all.
We are